Hey guys, happy Wednesday. We're live. I'm super excited to be with you live today. Sorry I missed last week. I was really sick, but I'm feeling much better. And so I'm excited to show you some fun projects today. So I'm going to get all my supplies. I have everything ready. I just need to pull it out. Make sure I'm not missing anything. I had a fun series of classes this week, and I'm just making sure I've got all my cards. Oh, good. Here we go. So, hey, Kathleen. I'm going to show you guys what we made in card class this week, and then we're going to make a couple. And I'm going to show you how to mess around with the pigment sprinkles. So, just FYI. All right. So this was the sample that I showed the other day on Instagram, and I know a few people were like, "Ooh, how'd you make it?" So I'm going to show you, I'm going to kind of talk you through how I made this. I'm not going to make this particular one because this is really messy, but I'll tell you a little bit about it. And then I'm going to show you how to do this, though, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So, all right. So I'm going to move a few things out of the way so that I don't mess things up. Awesome. Oh yeah, and then just use a little piece on that one. It's fun, right? So, all right. So let's get the card packet out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a card packet to people who share. Hi, Kristen. So if you share tonight, you'll be entered into a drawing. And if you comment tonight, you'll be entered into a drawing. And then I'll pick a winner, and you'll get one of the card packets from tonight. So that'll be fun. I'm excited. Okay, so I'm just making sure I've got all my supplies and everything kind of close by because I don't want to get too distracted. So, all right, here we go. Ready? Okay, so let's take a look at this one first. And let me talk you through, I'll talk you through this one too. So this is a fun card because this card you heat emboss with either white or, in this case, shimmery white or clear. You can also do clear, and it creates like what I call an emboss resist, right? So the embossing resists the pigment sprinkles. So you heat emboss that first. Then you take the pigment sprinkles and you sprinkle them, tap, 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 right? Just a little tiny bit on the surface, and then you spritz it with our spritzer, and it will activate those pigment sprinkles, right? They're activated by water, by moisture, and then that's what creates this look. You have to know where you're aiming though, right? So I always keep the stamp set right next to me. This is Breathtaking Bouquet, which is in the spring catalog, the mini, and I say, okay, so upside down. So, I know I wanted this to be like a pansy, so I'm going to put yellow here. And then I know there's some greenery, so I'm going to do green, 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 green. I want this rose to be pink, so I'm going to put some pink here. I want this rose to be pink, so I'm going to put some pink here. I wanted kind of these extra flowers to have some purple on them, right? So I put some purple there, and then I spritz it. And then that's how you get this look. So you have to know where you're aiming the sprinkles in order to get something that looks relatively cohesive. Hey, Marlene. So you just have to work on your sprinkle aim. I highly recommend you don't have a fan going in your office when you do this. I also recommend that you take off any kind of like jelly band or anything that you have, because I got some sprinkles on it. Sadness. And I got some of it off with alcohol wipes, and I could probably try again, but anyway. So So that's how you aim this. So we're going to do two kind of simpler projects. We're going to do this one, which is where we're just taking a piece of watercolor paper. So we've got our nice heavy bond watercolor paper. This, by the way, was shimmery white. So I did not, I think so. No, actually, I did that one on watercolor paper. But normally I'd probably do it on shimmery white. But this is our Fluid 100 watercolor paper. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to move our other projects out of the way. And I'm going to get my spritzer. So we have our Stampin' Spritzers, and they, even though this one looks like death, it looks blue, it's because I put blue ink in it with alcohol at some point and it stained it blue, but it doesn't spray blue. Like, it sprays white. It sprays clear. So anyway, all right. So we have a dry piece of watercolor paper, and we're going to get our Pigment Sprinkles out. And we've got the pink. And there's a little shaker top at the top. What's cool about Pigment Sprinkles is that they have multiple colors in here that mix to make the color. So this has tones of yellow and orange and red, right? And all of that mixes to make Melon Mambo. So you get 6 colors for $22, which is a great deal, and there are brights. So see how when I spritz it, everything kind of runs and moves. And then I'm just going to leave that, just like that. Now, I could go back, and I'm going to show you what happens. I could go back, and I could add some more color if I really wanted to. I'll add it over here. But see how it does something different. When it's wet and you add sprinkles, it does something different. It doesn't move as much as when it's dry and then you move it, right? So I actually really like to move it. And sometimes I'll even like physically move it. Now, I do not dry this with the heat tool because, as you can tell, when you move it, right, it moves the color. And I don't want to move the color on this one. I kind of want all these different tones. So we're going to set that aside, okay? And we want that really fun variation. So I'm going to set it aside for right now. You guys are going to love that. Now this one is one where I came back and I ended up taking the aqua painter and kind of brushing over it, right? But hopefully, I'm hoping the lighting is good enough that you can see the oranges and the reds and the pinks, right? You can see all that variation, and that's what's really cool. So, hi, Crystal. We're playing with Pigment Sprinkles. So then what we're going to do is we're going to get the Lilypad stamp set. So the lovely Lilypad is a free set with Celebration, right? And it comes, you can do just the stamp set. It's free with a $50 order. Or you can do free with a $50 order, and then the dies are free with a $100 order. But even if you don't have a die cutting machine, I mean, you could fussy cut this out. This isn't the end of the world. What's really cool about it, though, is that it's a reversible stamp. So it's actually thicker than our other photopolymer stamps because it's meant so that you can stamp on one side and then you can stamp on the other. So you could stamp a whole image, like a real solid image, right? And then you would flip it, and then you would stamp the detailed image on top. But we're not going to do that. Instead, we are going to grab our gorgeous grape, and we're going to grab our ink pad. So if you were doing this, I mean, you would have to wait a while, right, for this to dry. But then once it's dry, then, you know, you're good. All right, so I'm going to stamp it right there. And I'm going to make sure I get a good impression. So because it's watercolor paper, it's really easy to not get a good impression. Oh, but I did. I got a great impression. Awesome. Yay. And then we're going to come in and we're going to, so this is the card we're working towards, right? So we're going to stamp stamp this background. We're just going to stamp some random lily pads, which we love. Gorgeous grape, because it's so fun. I love this color. I was so happy when we got like a real pretty purple, because we didn't have a nice purple. I felt like we didn't have a good purple. Okay, fun. And then we're going to stamp we got a couple little pieces. So this piece is a scalloped piece, and it's cut out with the Stitched So Sweetly dies, which comes with some really fun shapes, and then these cool rectangles with the scalloped edge. And we're going to stamp the congratulations from the Sending You Thoughts, which is another free stamp set. So this is all about the free, y'all. Like, all about the free. All right, congratulations. Bottom right-hand corner. Ta-da. And then we're going to take a little piece of the fun Lilypad paper, and we're going to take that on here. Right. That's kind of relatively not crooked. And then what I found out was I'm out of this white ribbon, which is kind of sad. So I'm going to see if I've got an alternative ribbon. This is interesting though. So you might see that like there's some like hot pink staining on here. It's because the Pigment Sprinkles got on the stamp too. It transfers from here to here. And that's something I'll show you. So it's something you want to be really careful of when you're working in your office, or you want to make sure you come back and kind of like wipe this because there's still pigment on there. Isn't that crazy? I'm making sure you guys don't have any questions. Hey, Jill. All right, I'm going to go die cut this. I'll be right back. Hang tight. 3 seconds. Okay, more than 3. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm back. So what's cool is that this die, because everyone's like, oh, is it going to cut? It like cuts the watercolor paper really, really nicely. It's really easy to cut that. So there we go. So now we've got this, and we've got this, and we've got this, and we've got a nice cardstock base of our thick white. So hopefully you know thick white is the cardstock you want to use for card bases, right? Because it's really sturdy and it stands up. And now we have a really pretty Lilypad card. Isn't this nice? So with this one, you can see I was able to get a lot more color variation. So it kind of depends on if you like the color variation or if you like a more solid color. If you like a more solid color, you're going to want to come back with your aqua painter and smooth this out. But if you like a really fun variation, then stamping on something, I feel like this, I'm like moving pieces out of my way, and stamping on something like this. Oh, that's funny. Did you guys see? I turned it on, but it wasn't plugged in. Shh. But see how it pushes that color? I don't love that, but it'll be fun. Okay, do you know how you can tell if it's dry? If it doesn't feel cold to the hand. So if it's cold, then you know it's still wet. So it's like a little wet on the edges. But see how it created that line there? I don't like that line. So that's why I don't put the heat tool on these until they're like 99% dry, and then I'll put the heat tool on it to finish it up, because I don't like these lines. Here, you can see the line too here. See? I don't like that. It doesn't look nice. But I'll go back and make sure it's all nice and clean. And then we'll get the ink, which who knows where it is. Oh, here it is. But what I want for this is I want to be able to, I want variation, right? So like my goal is like, all right, I want to be able to get a piece that has like this dark and this light. So maybe it's going to be like right there. And again, just make sure you're stamping well. Oh, I moved it. Oh, it's got a little bit of movement. That's funny. But I like that because it's got the light piece there, and then it's got some dark pieces there, right? So I was able to kind of make that work, other than the shake. All right, good. Okay, so that is one of the cards. Aces, well done team. All right, the other card. So, all right, the other card has a couple of different pieces. So this card has the Breathtaking Bouquet in the background. And then what we do is it's called Spotlight Technique. And we're going to punch a piece and we're going to do some brush show on it. Okay? So you will take this. Okay. Breathtaking Bouquet. So we're going to take the Breathtaking Bouquet and we're going to ink it up. This is on shimmery white. So shimmery white is made for water. It's made for watercolor. It's made for watercolor pencils. So it's a great paper to use because it'll hold up to any kind of water that we put on it, and it won't like buckle or crinkle or pill or anything. So that's just something to know if you're, looking to do some watercoloring and you don't have our shimmery white in your stock. That might be something you want. And then you want to use Stays On, right? This is our permanent ink, because if you're going to add water, you don't want a hot mess. And then I could have used the Stamparatus. I could have used a brayer. I realize all these things. I am lazy and do not feel like doing that. So, ta-da, there we go. Awesome. All right, so we got that. Now, while I've got this open, I'm going to show you one of the other things I did. So this is done by sprinkling the Pigment Sprinkles directly onto the stamp, spraying it with water, smushing it, and then pulling it up. You get a very different color palette when you do that. Can you see the difference, right? You get muddier tones. They're not, because they mix, because they're mixing in the wells here, right? So it's not as vibrant for sure, but it's really pretty. It's just a very, very different look. And you still do get a lot of the detailing, It's just a very different look. So I wanted to show you that, and this was also on shimmery white, so just FYI. Okay, so back to this one. We need a punch. All right, so we're going to get our 2-inch circle punch, and we're going to punch out a piece over here. Boop. And then we're going to use the thanks from this stamp set called Seriously the Best. Seriously the Best. I was talking about it the other day, and someone was like, what's it called? I was like, Seriously the Best. They're like, no, what's it called? And I'm like, no, seriously, the best. They're like, no, what's it called? I was like, no, it's that's the name, Seriously the Best. Anyway, it goes with a kit in our mini catalog, in the spring catalog, and I love the big fonts. I think they're really, really fun. And so we're going to stamp in Gorgeous Grape. I was really in like a purpley, pinky, grapey mood when I made all these cards the other day. I feel like I was like a one-hit wonder, but all right, we're going to stamp this. This piece is like, I didn't get a very good image, but that's okay. Probably need to run it this is, I think, 1 1/4. Yeah, 1 1/4. So, okay. Now, yes, that goes aside. This goes here. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to get out 4 of the colors. And we're going to put some color down. So we're going to put some pink down. Actually, I'm going to put some yellow down. So we're going to do yellow in the center. And I feel like you can't have too much yellow, personally, in this one. So a good bit of yellow. There are a few leaves on the edge. So I'm going to, right, a little goes a long way, right? Put some green on the edge. Yes, the green looks very similar. That's why I keep the lids on them. We're going to do a little bit of purple. I'm going to shake my purple up because I'm trying to. The purple kind of comes out splotchy, is what I found. But, okay. Then, pink. Pink comes out real fast. So, FYI. Yeah, there's pink. Oh, see? I see. I don't know what it is about the pink. It's the mixture of the greens, right? All right, we're going to get a couple tissues, paper towel, whatever you got around. I have tissues because that's just what we got going on today. And going to spritz. And you're like, oh my God, you made a hot mess. And then I'm going to lift this up. And there we go. So yes, I did make a hot mess, but hopefully it looks a little bit better than a hot mess. Now let's say that I don't love the color combination, or let's say like, man, I just don't like how splotchy that purple looks, you know? I can come back, right? And I can wipe it again, right? I can spray and I can blot. And I can get it to a place where I'm like, all right, yes, I'm happy. I like what that looks like. And then I can get my heat tool and just kind of straighten it back out. There we go. Awesome. All right. So then we're just going to take this piece. And we're going to put some glue on the back. And then this is just our starburst punch. You could use a scallop round or, you know, whatever you've got. But you want to use something to kind of, you know, make it stand up and make it stand out. And then you're going to put this down. And we're going to put this under here. I think this is too long. Did you see that, y'all? I just tore paper. Someone just had a cow, I'm sure. Awesome. And then the last little finishing touch on this one is our gorgeous grape mini stripe. What's this called? Is it really called mini stripe? Literally, mini stripe ribbon. That's funny. I was right. That's awesome. Oh, where's my... Oh, here it is. Okay. What's cool is that our mini stripe ribbon is too skinny for snail. Hey, Athena. Yay, Kristen. I'm glad to hear. But it's not too skinny for our tear and tape. So get yourself a piece of tear and tape. And you know the trick to tear and tape, right? Don't try to peel it up from the end. Peel it from the middle. And then we're going to get that. And then I just need a pair of scissors. Nice. That's too long. Couple dimensionals on the back of there. I probably wouldn't use minis normally, but that's what we have. Awesome. All right, so this is called the spotlight technique. So you can use the spotlight technique with any large image that you have. And then I do try to line this back up because I think that's like the whole point. Let's see if I can do that. You can use it with any large image you have, and you could watercolor it. So in this case, I use the watercolor pencils, but you can see, right? I mean, it's okay, but it's not, it just doesn't have the same pop, you know? So, yay. I know, I love dimensionals too. They're so fun. So, spotlight technique, right? We've got with watercolor crystals. We've got watercolor crystals on the lily, which is really pretty, right? And then we've got the other card that I made in class was just a nice simple one, Send Healing Hugs. So, but these are really fun cards to make, and hopefully this inspires you, you know, to make something really pretty. But pigment sprinkles are a lot of fun. You get a lot in a container. You know, I've been using these for a while. They came out last summer. I think they came out last summer. They did come out the summer before. It was last summer. I mean, I'm not gonna run out of these for sure. So yay! Let me know if you've got questions. You know, pigment sprinkles you can use them just like you would any other ink. So you can put some on a block, and you could sprinkle a little on a block and add some water, or in like a little painter's pan, and you could use them just like you do watercolors, you know, with your aqua painter. You know, so there's a lot of different ways to use them, but I just kind of wanted to inspire you and give you guys some ideas for this. So thanks, Athena. Thanks for joining. I really appreciate you guys tuning in each week. I have a hostess code running. I'll put the hostess code down below, and I'll also put it in in the description. I'm closing a hostess code tomorrow, and then I'm going to open up a new hostess code for the rest of the month. So yeah, thanks for joining, Kristen. Thanks. Yeah, I wanted to do some florals. Wanted to channel spring. Oh, and then I do have a little snip of the fun papers coming out in Celebration second release. So this is one, that fun little daisies. And then there's this kind of like geometric pattern, which I do really like. I think that's cool, in silver. And then there's the copper kind of cross hatching, which I like that one. That could be nice for masculine cards. And then there's the really pretty floral. And then the other paper pack is a 3-color pack of vellum that is already embossed, which is kind of cool. So if people don't have an embossing machine, this is a really cool way for them to get a hold of, you know, some embossed vellum. And it's Seafoam Green, Pool Party, and Purple Posy. So really pretty. Hey, Stephanie. I'm about to finish stuff, so go back and watch from the beginning because we did some fun stuff. But I've got a hostess code open through tomorrow. I know, I love all the pretty paper. The hostess code special for this month is the champagne rhinestones. So if you haven't gotten a package of those champagne rhinestones, you have got to see these. They are amazing. They're so, so pretty. And you'll get those for free if you use the hostess code. And if your order is over 150, don't use my hostess code. You'll still get the champagne rhinestones and probably other really fun, lovely things as well. So I'd love to surprise and delight. Thank you, everybody, for joining me, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.